Hello and welcome to the RHS Awards 2021 and welcome to another remote awards ceremony. It's going to be next year, I think, before we bring ourselves back together in person. But I'm with you again to say congratulations to all of our winners tonight. So once again, we are celebrating some of the very best in history writing, research and teaching this year. With the RHS Awards. And we're delighted to introduce a series of videos from some from our awardees, some from our judges, that talk about some of the excellent work that we've been delighted to look through this year. But without further ado, I am delighted to welcome the RHS President, Professor Emma Griffin. Emma, over to you.
Hello and welcome to the Royal Historical Society's 2021 Awards Ceremony. I'm Emma Griffin and I'm the Society's 35th President. It's a delight to have this opportunity to participate in the ceremony where we will showcase some truly excellent historical research and teaching that has taken place in the past year. We do normally award our prizes at our annual summer party held in UCL, and whilst it is of course a great shame not to meet the shortlisted and winning candidates in person, this online format does give us the chance to hear in more detail about their work, as well as to reach those of you who cannot make it to London. The Royal Historical Society seeks to support, promote and defend history in all its forms and in a variety of contexts, and our focus is often upon the importance of including a wide range of different voices and perspectives. But today our focus is on excellence, especially amongst historians at the early stages of their career. Our Gladstone and Whitfield Book Prizes, along with our Alexander and David Berry Article Prizes, our Research Fellowships and Rees Davies Prize for an Outstanding Master's Dissertation, celebrate achievement throughout the journey of embarking upon postgraduate research, the first published monograph. Meanwhile, our teaching prizes recognise excellence and innovation in the teaching of history in a university setting. They are named in honour of the Society's first female president, Ginty Nelson. Our Marshall Fellowship is named after Peter Marshall, another former president of the Society, who very generously funds this annual award. We think our prizes recognise some of the best history being undertaken in the UK today. I'd like to close by saying a very big congratulations to all our shortlisted candidates, and especially, of course, to today's prize winners.
Thank you, Emma. So, for the announcement of the first award this evening, I'm delighted to pass over to my colleague, Philip Carter, who will be introducing the winner of the David Berry Prize 2021. And that is our prize for the best published essay on an aspect of Scottish history. And so, without any further ado, I will pass over to Philip.
Hello, I'm Philip Carter from the Royal Historical Society, and it's my very great pleasure to announce the winner of this year's David Berry Prize, which is given annually for the best article or chapter on a topic relating to Scottish history. The judges for this year's prize, Thomas Otter and Richard Toy, were both very impressed by the extent and sophistication of the many submissions, and have therefore chosen to recognise 3 articles in this year's award. We therefore have 2 runners-up and 1 outright winner of the David Berry Prize. The first of our runners-up is Dr. Rebecca Mason from the University of Glasgow for a chapter in an edited collection entitled Married Women's Testaments, Division and Distribution of Movable Property in 17th Century Glasgow, which appeared in a collection, Gender, Law and Material Culture, published in April of this year. Our second runner-up is Dr. Max Skonberg of the University of Liverpool for his article, David Hume and the Jacobites, which appeared in the Scottish Historical Review in April 2021. The winner of this year's David Berry Prize is Dr. Stuart McManus, who is Assistant Professor of World History at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, for an article entitled Scots at the Council of Ferrara, Florence, and the Background to the Scottish Renaissance, which was published in the Catholic Historical Review in summer 2020. Stuart's article offers the first study of the Scottish presence at the Council of Ferrara, Florence, which included 3 Scottish bishops and over 40 other named Scots. It aims to show that educated and well-connected Scots were present in one of the premier cultural centres of the early Renaissance, such that the flowering of classicising culture in Scotland a generation later comes as no surprise. In choosing this article for the prize, the judges commented on its originality and painstaking research in recreating the lives of the council attendees based on limited sources. The results of this research are impressive. First, for setting in better context the emergence of Renaissance ideals in Scotland, and second, in underlining the importance of ecumenical councils like that at Ferrara, Florence, in understanding the longer history of European cultural integration. So many congratulations to Rebecca and to Max, and especially to Stuart on your success in this year's David Berry Prize.
Thank you very much, Philip, and congratulations to the winner of the David Berry Award. Now, I'm going to move on to our next award, which is the award of the Alexander Prize, and welcome my colleague Adam Budd from the University of Edinburgh to present. Now, the Alexander Prize is for the best published article or essay on a piece of work emerging from someone's doctoral thesis. So, without any further ado, I will pass over to Adam, please.
My name is Adam Budd. I'm a counsellor of the Royal Historical Society, and I wish to extend my congratulations on behalf of the entire Alexander Prize jury to Matthew Burchell for his prize-winning article, History, Sovereignty, Capital, Company Colonization in South Australia and New Zealand, which was recently published in the Journal of Global History. The jury members agreed that this was an exceptionally thoughtful paper, beautifully written and critically incisive. Not only does Burchell show us that private enterprise and capital investment shaped British settlement and immigration to South Australia and New Zealand during the 1830s, but he also shows that associated colonial initiatives in North America had set important precedents that legitimized these capital-driven projects. Who knew that business schemes for immigration in the South Seas were influenced by what Burchell calls the historical and discursive tradition of chartered enterprise that took place in the Atlantic world? We were thoroughly convinced. All three of us agreed that this article provides an important intervention in global history. It does what the best global history studies do. It knits together disparate regions of the world in interesting and new ways. We admired its ambition and scope, and noted that as a scholarly exercise in lateral thinking and critical research, this article is an exceptionally strong contribution. We also wish to extend our congratulations to our two runners-up this year, who are Elizabeth Evans on Plainclothes Policeman in New York City during the early 20th century, which has appeared in Modern American History, and to Max Long on The Cine Biologists, which was published in the British Journal for the History of Science. Thanks to everyone who submitted an entry this year. We were very impressed by all of those that we read. And again, warmest congratulations to Matthew Burchell and to Elizabeth Evans and Max Long.
Thank you very much, Adam, and congratulations to the winner of the Alexander Prize. Now, the next prize that we're going to be announcing is the Rees Davies Prize, which is for Best MA Dissertation. Now, I'm going to be handing over to two very august judges. The first, Professor Jane Winters from the School of Advanced Studies, and the other, a scoundrel that you might recognise. That's right, through movie magic, it is myself. So, without any further ado, I am delighted to hand over to the judges of the Rees Davies Prize to announce the winner, and a very fine winner it was too. Anyway, Jane and Andrew, over to you.
So we wanted to announce the winning entries for the Rees Davies Prize, which is an award for the best MA dissertation in history. And we looked at some wonderful entries this year. My name is Andrew Smith, and I'm joined here by Professor Jane Winters. Now, Jane, we looked at some wonderful dissertations, didn't we? And I think we both really wanted to say just how impressed we both were, especially this year, given the constraints on travel, on research, on all the rest of it, the extraordinary standard of the work we saw, given those restraints, I think is, blew us away, to be honest. Now, why don't we get started straight away? So, Jane, I think you were going to announce the runner-up. So, can I ask you, who is the runner-up of the Rees Davies Prize?
Great. Thank you, Andrew. It was such a pleasure to be a judge of the prize this year, and I'm delighted to announce that the runner-up is Amy Smith from the University of Bristol for her dissertation entitled A Rise in the Spirit of Individualism, Group Petitioning and the Performance of Neighbourliness in Early Modern Worcestershire. This was a vivid and engaging piece of writing, a real pleasure to read. The strong opening grew into a rich and well-evidenced analysis, which explored important questions in a clear-eyed and intelligent way. The central question of how individualism and neighbourliness played out through group petitioning was a fascinating one, and allowed for a well-supported discussion, drawing on specific detail, illustrative examples, and an exploration of the wider historiographical significance of the research. Amy's call for nuance in understanding the contrast between a process that created greater individualism and the enduring power of community ties was insightful and well framed. This was an excellent dissertation, which nicely balanced the qualitative and quantitative and delivered some really significant conclusions. So many congratulations, Amy, on a wonderful piece of work.
Yeah, many congratulations indeed. I thought it was an absolutely wonderful dissertation, a real pleasure for us both to read. And I think we both came out immediately to say, this was a fantastic piece of work that really did plug into all those debates that you spoke about. I should stress as well, no relation. We thought we'd get Jane to read that one, so it wasn't A. Smith announcing A. Smith and all the rest of it, the perils of a name like mine, and Amy's, of course. Now, I was going to read the award for the winner of the Rees Davies Prize, which we thought was an outstanding dissertation. And the winner was Tom Parkinson for a dissertation entitled Space, Time and the Body, Muharram in 19th Century Singapore. Now, we thought this was an outstanding study of Islamic practice in Singapore, which explored the various cross-cutting influences on the island and the city, looking at culture and the economic and political pressures, which were reflected in changing religious practice. There was a clear-sighted and well-written analysis throughout, which made for an excellent read. Separating the chapters into themes of space, time, and body was a skillful and elegant way of exploring this topic, and both myself and Jane were hugely impressed by the analytical potential this unleashed. I don't have to, I'm kind of nervous to admit a little bit, but I was actually slightly jealous of the structure, which I looked at and thought, wow, that is just such a fantastic way to look at this. The story of the funeral was an excellent way of exploring the space of the city and its environment. And the judges, both Jane and myself, were struck by the description of conflicting subaltern uses of that environment alongside the colonial vision for the space. Likewise, the discussions of how the festival calendar and the performance of ritual influenced the exercise of power, the potential for resistance, and the colonial rumour mill were absolutely fascinating, we thought. The third chapter showed how marking the body as a religious rite created new subjects for colonial control and intervention. The intersection of flagellation and epistemologies of disease was intriguing and an excellent way to further unpack this place, time, and practice. We thought it was an excellent dissertation which reflected meaningfully on race, gender, power, and place, using the rhythms and rites of religious observation to explore and unpick the intersecting tensions of empire during a period of profound change for Singapore. So I think we both wanted to say congratulations, Tom, for an outstanding dissertation, which we thought really was quite exceptional. But also to all of the entrants and all the people that were nominated for this award, because as Jane and I said, this was an outstanding crop of dissertations in extraordinarily difficult circumstances. So congratulations to all the students that were nominated for some really outstanding work.
Yeah, congratulations, Tom, Amy, and all of you. As Andrew said, it was incredibly impressive. Well done.
Congratulations. Thank you.
So congratulations to the winners of the Rees Davies Prize. And so on to the announcement of our next award. And you'll be delighted to hear that it's not going to be me announcing it this time. Instead, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Claire Eldridge at the University of Leeds. Now, we're going to be announcing the award of the Gladstone Prize this year. And the Gladstone Prize is an award for the best first book on a topic outside of British history. And Claire herself is a former winner of the Gladstone Prize. And so, without any further ado, I'm going to pass over to Claire to tell us more about this year's Gladstone Prize winner. Claire.
Thank you, Andrew. Hello, my name is Claire Eldridge, and I, along with Barbara Bombay and Simon McLean, had the great privilege of being on the committee for this year's Gladstone Prize. The remit for this prize is work not primarily related to British or Irish history, which is a pretty broad category. As a result, myself and my fellow judges have had the pleasure of reading books covering a really diverse array of places, time periods, approaches, and historical actors. The strength of the shortlist for this prize is indicative of the quality of the wider pool of entrants. In these times of restrictions, it's been a real treat to be able to travel so widely, historically speaking, through these books, and I want to thank everyone who shared their work with us. On behalf of the Prize Committee, I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of this year's Gladstone Prize is Tom Stammers for The Purchase of the Past, Collecting Culture in Post-Revolutionary Paris, 1790 to 1890, published by Cambridge University Press. In this erudite survey of the culture of collecting in post-revolutionary Paris, Tom Stammers demonstrates how the private trade and acquisition of historical artifacts was used to access and reimagine the recent French past. Exploring the complicated relationships between private collectors, public institutions, and the various post-revolutionary regimes, the book exposes the vital role played by material culture in the construction and contestation of historical consciousness in this tumultuous era. Much like the 19th century collectors who are the subject of his book, Tom Stammers has gone to impressive lengths to track, collect, and display a wealth of evidence in support of his arguments. The result is a richly detailed and fascinating study that ranges widely in terms of chronology, historical agents, and types of artifact. The jury agreed that this was an outstanding piece of scholarship whose valuable insights stretch across multiple fields. Many congratulations to Tom. Congratulations also to the other shortlisted books and to all the entrants. First books are important milestones and should be celebrated as such. The texts we read displayed such impressive levels of creativity and craft that I, for one, am extremely excited to see what future projects Tom and the other entrants will embark upon. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. And congratulations, Tom. And, oh, hang on, sorry, Yes, that's right. With a little bit of movie magic, I am told that we can now hear from Tom, the winner of that award. And so over to you, Tom Stammers at the University of Durham, who's going to tell us a little bit more about his book and the award of the Gladstone. So without any further ado, over to you, Tom.
I was delighted to be nominated alongside 7 excellent scholars for this year's Gladstone Prize, and so I am completely thrilled to have been named the winner for my book, The Purchase of the Past. I'm so honoured by the support of the judges and the William Gladstone Memorial Trust. This book has been a long time coming and would not have seen the light without the support and generosity of key research institutions, including Cambridge University, where I did my doctorate and my research fellowship at Gonville and Caius, the Fondation Maison Sciences de l'Homme in Paris, the Maison Française in Oxford, and my current academic home at the University of Durham. It has been a privilege also to work with the excellent team at Cambridge University Press. This is a book about heritage and collections, and I'm deeply aware of what a difficult year it's been for so many librarians, curators, and archivists. The book owes a huge debt to the expertise and the kindness of such professionals on both sides of the channel, and it is a small tribute to the riches these collections contain and the wonder they can inspire. Lastly, I'm hugely grateful to all the colleagues and friends who've kept me sane along the way, with particular thanks to my partner Jo and to my mother, to whom the book is lovingly dedicated. My father, John, passed away over this past year, and I know that he too would have been very proud. Thank you, everyone who has made this book possible, and have an excellent summer.
Congratulations, Tom. I'm delighted, obviously, personally, to see French history doing so well in that prize. Now, I am delighted to announce the next of our awards, which is the Whitfield Prize. And that is for the best first book on a subject pertaining to British history. And now, to announce that award, I'm going to pass over to my colleague Emily Robinson from Sussex. And so, without any further ado, Emily.
Thank you, Andrew. So my name's Emily Robinson and I'm a counsellor of the Royal Historical Society. And I've had the great pleasure of being a member of this year's Whitfield Prize Committee. We had a really strong shortlist, but there were also so many other fantastic books, and it was a real privilege to read them, and I've learned a great deal from them. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you for sharing your work with us. And on behalf of the rest of the committee, I'm really pleased to be able to announce that we have recommended that the Society award this year's prize to 2 books, both of which we felt were absolutely outstanding pieces of scholarship. The 2 winners are, in alphabetical order, Jackson W. Armstrong's England's Northern Frontier, Conflict and Local Society in the 15th Century Scottish Marches, and Lauren Working's The Making of an Imperial Polity, Civility and America in the Jacobean Metropolis, both of which were published by Cambridge University Press, and these are what they look like. So the jury agreed that Jackson W. Armstrong's work was deeply researched and reflective. It's the first book-length study of England's far north in the 15th century, and that alone we felt was a major achievement. But by applying a sophisticated approach to frontiers, the book also reconsiders the idea of the North and its supposed lawlessness. It breaks new ground in challenging received ideas that Marcher society in this period was that of an exceptional and exceptionally violent marginal border region. Using an impressive repertoire of approaches and a wide range of published and archival sources, Armstrong shows that the Scottish marches were well integrated with the rest of the realm of England, so far as governance was concerned. The culture of conflict that prevailed was less a function of the borderland context and more an expression of feud, which, as elsewhere in Europe at this time, may have been indigenous to late medieval England. And then Lauren Working's masterful study of Jacobean political culture significantly shifts our understanding of its imperial nature. The book weaves together material history, political thought, and historical anthropology to show that settler colonialism was central to the self-understanding of Jacobean political actors. She deftly unpicks the connections between settler plantation and domestic estate management, and shows how metaphors of cannibalism were used to equate Catholics with Native Americans, while legitimating and masking the violence of the colonial project itself. By placing America at the heart of the Jacobean polity, rather than on its periphery, Working reveals that the idea of English civility was expansionist and imperial from the outset. It's elegantly written and compellingly argued, and her book makes a major contribution to the field. So congratulations to both of you for some really exceptional historical work, and also to all of the other shortlisted authors and the other entrants for producing such a great set of first books. You all have a great deal to be proud of. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Emily. And I'm also hearing getting news just now that we have our 2 winners on the line, hailing to us from the University of Aberdeen and from the University of Oxford. First of all, I think, we can just go across to Jackson just now, who is ready to join us. Jackson.
How exciting. I'm so thrilled to be named as co-winner of this award. Thank you to the Royal Historical Society and all the Whitfield Prize judges. The shortlisting was an honor in its own right, and this really ices the cake. Thank you so much. I'd like to congratulate my co-winner, Lauren, and all the other shortlisted authors, Henry, Sarah, Thomas, and Fanula. I'm already enjoying some of your books, and I look forward to reading all the rest. So congratulations on your success. I'd like to say thank you to some people who've been crucial throughout this project. To Christine Carpenter for your wisdom and encouragement over the years. To all my colleagues at Aberdeen, present and past, who've challenged and inspired me in different ways. To the editors of the Cambridge Studies in Medieval Life and Thought series, and in particular, Rosamund McKittrick, who supported this book through its long incubation. To Liz Friend-Smith and all the team at CUP, I'm so proud of what we've accomplished
together, and I'm truly grateful for all the hard work that you have put into making this book what it is. And to my family, to my brilliant wife, Vicky, and my boys, Finn and Innes, for all your patience, love, and support over the years. I'm so pleased that this book is off to such a great start, and I hope it will go on to inspire others to think about England in different ways. And under normal circumstances, I would hope to be able to be with you to accept this award in person and to celebrate together, but that's not possible. So in light of that, I'm very happy to accept online. Thanks once again to the RHS for this fabulous recognition, and I hope you enjoy the book.
Well done, Jackson. And now I'm just going to cut over to Lauren working in Oxford. Congratulations, Lauren.
Wow, thank you so much to the RHS and to the judges for this incredible honour. And my congratulations also to the fellow shortlisted authors for their really wonderful work, and to my co-winner, Jackson Armstrong, as well. This project started out as a PhD at the University of Durham, so my thanks to the Faculty of Arts and Humanities for funding this work, and to my supervisor, Adrian Green, for really pushing my interdisciplinary approaches to my material. Since the PhD, I've joined the TIDE project, now at the University of Oxford. So a big thank you also to Nandini Das, and to the way that concerted book writing and research time was really built into the structure of the postdoc. At Cambridge University Press, I would like to thank my editor, Liz Friend-Smith, and also the 4 series reviewers for their support of the proposal and for really helping me to push the critical stances that I take in my book. And finally, I would like to thank my partner, Hugh, who is a bit of a shadowy presence in the acknowledgements, but who has since become a strong figure of support in my life. So thank you so much to everyone who has helped me along the way, and again to the RHS for this really brilliant prize.
Superb. Congratulations, Jackson, and congratulations, Lauren. That's a fantastic award, and I'm delighted to hear about those books. Now, their next award celebrates something that the RHS has been committing to in a big way, in celebrating excellence in teaching. Of course, with the launch of our teaching portal, which you'll be able to find on the RHS website, as well as, of course, the celebration of some of the outstanding teaching that is going on through our teaching prizes. And so to discuss the awards and the winners behind that, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Peter De Sena at Hertfordshire. And so, without any further ado, over to you, Peter.
It's an honour and a pleasure to be able to announce the winners of the Royal Historical Society's annual Teaching Awards. This year has been an especially difficult year for people across all disciplines because of the pandemic and adapting our teaching, but I'm especially happy to say that we're here to celebrate some excellent practice amongst our colleagues. We have 2 awards. The first is for innovative teaching, the other is for inspirational teaching. Our first award winner is Dr. Jamie Wood of the University of Lincoln, who has used Talis Elevate to support the reading skills and develop the reading skills in his undergraduate historians. And this work has been so successful that it's been disseminated across his university, but also outside and even across different disciplines. And many congratulations to him. But we do have runners-up, and this year they are both from the University of Reading, Will Bailey-Watson and Charlotte Crouch, who have done work on developing a community of practice between history PhD students and history secondary trainees in the PGCE, the Postgraduate Certificate of Education, in order to develop two-way skills, two-way communication to develop the skills in both cohorts. Many congratulations to them. In the other award for inspirational teaching, which is the Ginty Nelson Award, our award winner is Lucinda Matthews-Jones from Liverpool John Moores University. Her work, which is on creative assessment, is based on some really important educational theory, and she's taken it into practice to give her students the opportunities to develop real life skills, to take their learning on the archive into authentic assessment and into the real world, and this has proved really very fruitful for them, so fruitful in fact that it's gone beyond her institution and also beyond the sector into secondary education, into sixth form college work. Many congratulations to Lucinda. And we do also again have a runner-up, and that's Nicholas Evans from the University of Hull for his Hull History Network, where he has developed opportunities for employability through placements, and this has led again to his work going across his university, so congratulations to him. I would also take the opportunity finally to thank the judging panel, Marjorie Harper from Aberdeen, Paul Cawthorne from Queen's University Belfast, and Rosamond Oates from Manchester Met. We looked through all of the applications. There were so many more accolades we could have given to people, I'm sure, but here are the top 4. Congratulations to you, and we look forward to receiving more applications next year.
Thank you very much, Peter. Congratulations to the winners of our teaching prizes. Our next awards I'm going to hand over to my colleagues at the IHR, and in particular to Professor Catherine Clark, who's going to be announcing the awards of the IHR prizes and fellowships. And so without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Catherine. Over to you.
It's my great pleasure to announce the winner of this year's Pollard Prize for the best paper given at an IHR seminar in 2020 to 21. And the winner is Merve Fetchler for the paper Toward a History of Intellectual Labour, Gender, Negritude and the Black Public Sphere. And that paper was given at the IHR Political Thought and Intellectual History seminar. The judges agreed that this is a fantastically insightful thought piece on visibility in what we might call public intellectualism, with a focus specifically on women and their roles as organisers, and also Black intellectuals. The primary source analysis comes from personal archives, interviews, FBI files, and structural analysis of the congresses and publications of negritude. The Pollard Prize runner-up is Lucy Clark. And that's for Lucy's paper, I Say I Must, for I Am the King's Shreeve, Magistrates Invoking the Monarch's Name in Henry VI, Part 1, 1592, and The Downfall of Robert, Earl of Huntingdon, 1598. And that was given at the IHR Tudor and Stuart History Seminar. The judges described Lucy's paper as an excellent multidisciplinary study, which really used the plays as sources in relevant ways. It's a very sophisticated examination of the intersections between literary form and everyday experience, soundly theorized and with careful attention and extensive consideration of primary sources. Both these papers will be published in the IHR's journal, Historical Research. I'm now delighted to announce the winner of the Neal Prize for the best essay submitted to the IHR on a subject relating to early modern British history. And this goes to Eloise Davies for her essay, Reformed but Not Converted, Paolo Sarpi, the English Mission in Venice, and Conceptions of Religious Change. At its core, Davies' essay is a life of William Bedell, chaplain between 1607 and 1611 to Sir Henry Wotton, English ambassador to Venice. The overall argument is that ecumenically minded Englishmen had a good deal in common with anti-papal Venetians, such as Paolo Sarpi. This is a thoughtful and wide-ranging essay that develops our understanding of early modern religious beliefs and confessional allegiance. The concepts of conversion, reform, reformation, and refuge are subtly assessed. A version of this paper will also appear in the IHR's journal, Historical Research. It's now my pleasure to announce the winners of the IHR RHS Fellowships, funded by the Royal Historical Society and hosted by the IHR. And these awards cover completion of doctoral research. This year, 2 awards of fellowships of 6 months each have been made in both the Centenary and Marshall Fellowship categories. The first winner of an RHS Centenary Fellowship is Dan Armstrong of the University of St Andrews. And that's for research on Anglo-Papal relations circa 1066 to circa 1135. Dan aims to make the first comprehensive reassessment of the relationship between the Kingdom of England and Rome since Z.N. Brooke's book, written 90 years ago. Dan's thesis, therefore, intends to dismantle this anachronistic scaffolding of conflict between church and state, arguing that any Anglo-Papal friction was situational as opposed to structural, with the norm being consensus and compromise. The second RHS Centenary Fellowship goes to Petros Spanou, University of Oxford, for research on the Crimean Moment and Crucible, Just War, Principles of Peace, and Debates in Victorian Wartime Thought and Culture, 1854 to 1856. Petros's doctoral research examines the complex ways in which the idea of just war and the principles of the British peace movement framed important, yet hitherto overlooked, religious, intellectual, political, and cultural debates during the Crimean War. Where earlier historians have studied the war intensively as an episode in diplomatic and military history, Petros's research seeks to advance fresh perspectives on the war's cultural impact and place in Victorian consciousness. And now the Marshall Fellowships, which are awarded thanks to the generosity of Professor P.J. Marshall, former president of the RHS. The first RHS Marshall Fellowship goes to Humaira Chowdhury, University of Cambridge, for research on Hanging by a Thread, a social and economic history of Muslim tailors, Davies, in Calcutta, 1947 to 1967. Humaira is working on Muslim artisanal communities in Bengal and India after partition in 1947. Her research aims to bring together 2 different strands of literature on immobility and artisan agency in the context of Muslim stayers-on in West Bengal. The second RHS Marshall Fellowship goes to Sonali Dhanpal, Newcastle University, for research on contested Bangalore, caste, colonial, and princely politics. Sonali is studying the city of Bangalore, South India, in the later 19th and early 20th centuries. Breaking new ground on colonial urbanism in South Asia, her research focuses on Bangalore, a capital of a princely state, examining residential extensions and housing between the late 19th and early 20th century. Many congratulations to all our award and fellowship winners.
Thank you very much, Catherine. I'm delighted to be able to host these awards, and really amazed at the standard of work that we've been able to look over in all of these categories, supporting the writing, research and teaching of history wherever that is done. And we're extraordinarily lucky here at the Royal Historical Society to be able to celebrate the calibre of work that is being done. And as I think I said back at the award of the Rees Davies Prize, the fact that this is all being done under these very trying conditions is a testament to the outstanding nature of history being practiced, written, researched and written about and taught today. Thank you to you, the audience, for joining us. Thank you to all of our judges. Thank you to everyone that submitted or nominated for our prizes. And congratulations again to our winners. I wish you a healthy and happy year, and I hope that I will see you again soon. All the very best, and thank you.